So I think we certainly will try to get started. Thank you all for coming. Welcome parents, guardians, and otherwise companions. This is the final presentations for the Integrated Product Design thesis program for this year. This program is for those of you who are not clear, particularly students who are not clear. This program is an amalgamation of design, business, and engineering courses and concepts to form in one's mind and one's talents the capability to do integrated product design. And in that regard, the students go through a number of semesters of classes learning skills, and those skills are supposed to result in a really great thesis project. And those thesis projects you're going to see two versions of today. The first two will be final presentations of final thesis projects, i.e. last semester. These people will be graduating. And the next four are students who, this is not their last semester. Some of them it'll be second to last semester, others almost. So we judge these in slightly different ways. The people who are graduating this year, we really kind of want to appreciate the effort they've put in and offer them constructive suggestions for how they might move their project forward or where they might go with it in their lives. And the students that are not graduating this semester, we really would like to offer some sincere constructive criticism as to how they might improve their project. So with that said, I'd like to offer you your story.
I'm going to begin with a short video of our project.
Isn't he beautiful, Dad? I wish Mom could be here. Grandma was the best storyteller. I miss the sound of her voice. I miss her, Dad. It's hard doing this without her.
Mom left you this. She wanted to let you know that she will always be with us.
Hi, honey, it's me. If you're hearing this, it means I'm somewhere missing you too. I recorded stories for you to listen to and always keep with you. I love you.
At YourStory, we recognize the importance of your legacy. We love stories, but we hate forgetting them. At YourStory, we want to capture your stories in your voice before it's too late. So we created a simple-to-use device called the Legacy Keeper that captures your stories so they can be passed on and always remembered. The YourStory system guides you through the process to easily record your stories, and then it safely stores them on the device as well as on our secure server.
Welcome to YourStory. I'm Anne. I'll be your voice guide. Let's get started. Let's begin.
From our website or mobile app, you can also record and send personalized prompts requesting specific stories that you would like to hear and receive from your loved one.
Hi, Dad. Can you tell me the story about how you and Mom met?
When I first met your mom, she was beautiful. The sound of her laughter was contagious.
After you're done recording, you simply say "transmit story," and the stories are wirelessly transmitted to our website. Your loved one then gets a text alert or an email telling them that they have received the story. They can then download and listen to the stories from any MP3 player or smartphone, allowing them to listen to your stories anytime, anywhere. Our website and mobile app also allow you to easily rename and organize your personal story library. Another great feature of our website is that you can create your own personalized Your Story legacy book. Our website translates your audio files to text and allows you to add images to create a customized book that you can share with the entire family. The beautiful Legacy Keeper is also an heirloom which stores and plays the stories and can be passed down throughout the generations. We invite you to tell your story.
Well, welcome again. I am Teresa, and these are my teammates, Dave and Amy, and we are Project YourStory. Like Peter mentioned, this is our final presentation. So today we are going to take you through a brief introduction, followed by our product description and our marketing strategy. Dave will discuss our engineering strategy, and Amy will take you through our operations and business strategy. So I want everyone to take a moment and think about someone that they love, that they lost. Wouldn't it be great to hear the sound of their voice? At YourStory, our mission is to capture your loved ones' stories in their voice before it's too late. So our product began with our customers and understanding their needs. When we went out to speak to our customers, we found a latent need that they wanted to capture their loved ones' stories. However, there wasn't any easy way to do this. So we provide a guided process that's very easy, as it was described in the video. And I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. We have two specific sets of user needs. We have the storyteller and the listener. So, as I mentioned, we're starting with the storyteller. We also walked around their homes, and we saw that they had tangible memories that they collected, and they also said that they would like to have a tangible memory that they can pass down to their loved ones. So we provide a beautiful keepsake, which is the Legacy Keeper. Our listeners expressed that they wanted an easy way to listen to their stories. So from our website, you could easily download our stories and listen to them from any smartphone or MP3 player. And our listeners also expressed that they wanted an easy way to catalog their memories. So we provide an online story management library. Both groups expressed that they wanted to help build connections with their loved ones. So we provide a personal network through our website where they can connect with loved ones. And they also, both groups expressed that they wanted a way to protect their stories. So we provide several ways of doing this. We have an online backup storage, secure, we have online server that stores your stories, and that's an optional service, which is recurring revenue for us. We also provide the Legacy Keeper, which stores the stories, and an optional hard copy of your voice to text, which you can create a legacy book, which is another source of income for us. So we surveyed the market to see what our competitors were. And the vertical axis shows you the level of facilitation and the horizontal price. And we start out with just good old fashioned storytelling. However, this is fleeting moments. Some stories don't get passed down or get lost through the generations. Then we have do-it-yourself, which is cobble together items that aren't easy to do, and when added up together, it's like they average to be about $250. And then we found a new emerging market, which are professional services, and these are personal historians or lawyers that do ethical wills. And these are fairly involved and could run up to thousands of dollars. So YourStory falls in the sweet spot that it's easy to facilitate and also affordable. So just to recap what our system is, it's our Legacy Keeper and our YourStory website and app, and now we're going to demo how that works. As we mentioned in the video, you begin by selecting your prompt, and then you record your prompt. But also, we have a prompt library where you can pick from our prompts from our prompt library. So I'll just walk you through that really quickly. So once you're done recording,
Prompt number 1.
you simply transmit.
We'll start.
Okay, you transmit, and the it's received on the device, and it lights up.
I got a prompt. Play prompt.
Prompt number 1.
Tell me about your IPD experience, Dave.
Would you like to respond to this prompt? Please say yes or no.
Yes.
Ready to record? I'll give you a 3-second countdown. After I say go, start recording. 3, 2, 1, go.
The IPD experience has been great. Stop recording. Please play back. The IPD experience has been great.
Would you like to transmit this recording? Please say yes or no.
Yes.
Sorry. And then you get a text message saying that you've received a story. And it's that simple. So I'm going to quickly walk you through our marketing strategy. Our initial target market are women ages 30 to 44 who are the listener purchasers, but we also found out from our primary research that parents 65 plus with adult children were also inclined to buy this product to hand down to their children. So we found a similar psychographic between these two segments, that they are memory curators, they are planners, and they're family oriented. So, and they also have a tendency to scrapbook, so we use scrapbooking as a benchmark. And there are 4 million scrapbookers currently in the US, and of that market there is 1.3 million that do it digitally. And that is a $1.4 billion industry. So we see great potential growth opportunity in this market. So our promotion strategy is to build awareness. Initially, we're going to send out products to popular women's blog sites to build word of mouth and get some free publicity. And then we are going to do advertising in online and in subscriptions such as Real Simple and AARP, and we chose them for their readership. And then we are going to do promotional events with organizations such as the Susan G. Komen Foundation and the Avon Breast Cancer Walk. And also, we heard from our customers that it's really important to actually experience the product. So we're going to host holiday events in pop-up shops in popular department stores where our segments shop, so that they can sample our product around Mother's Day and Father's Day. So we have a direct sales and distribution strategy. We're going to be selling directly through our website, and then we will be distributing through our distributing center that will be located on the West Coast, close to our facility, and we'll have a QC person there, making sure that everything's tip-top before it gets sent out to our customers through our freight service providers such as FedEx and UPS. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dave, who's going to talk to you about our engineering strategy.
All right. Engineering strategy. Okay, so what we did is we first started our design process by selecting a metaphor that would help drive our design vocabulary and later on influence our form. So as you can see up here, we chose a dandelion, mainly because of the connotation of dispersing, growing the seeds, the cyclical nature of the weed, I guess, itself, which later translated to the seed form that you see there, which we molded and shaped out of various media to get the form that we really liked. So an important factor with the form was the ergonomics and how it actually fit in the hand, and we sculpted it and manipulated it to make sure that it was incredibly comfortable, and a lot of people like to use it. And we took those dimensions of that form, and we were able to translate it into concrete dimensions that could be built, and these various attributes could be attributed to. In tandem with that, we were looking at the various components needed to actually fulfill the functions that we were looking to deliver with our product. And we worked in both section and 3D model to make sure that the different components would fit within the casing itself, manipulating both the form as well as the layout of the things. The next step we took was looking at the various components that we had and understanding our consumer, and then reevaluating the weight of certain financial and hierarchy to those. So for instance, up here, if you look at the battery life, we've integrated a lithium-ion battery into it because what we heard from consumers is that they won't change batteries. And typically the life of the battery from like a AAA or something like that would not be sufficient. And it attributes 7% of our total cost. So on this exploded diagram, it's a little bit more in depth of the various components that we selected and the rationale behind them. So if we look at the microprocessor, which is our main driving force, and it accounts for 14% of our cost, we selected the ARM Cortex-A5, to be a little technical, I guess, mainly because it's typically used in a standard entry-level smartphone or feature phone, and it can perform the functions that we're looking for in our voice recognition system that you saw demonstrated so lovely before. Another item on our list is the 20mm circular digital speaker, which is omnidirectional, so you can play it out loud for multiple people. It is a low power consuming, it's small, 20mm, so it can fit inside our form factor, and it meets the 80 decibel output that the voice recognition system from Microsoft requires. The last one that the voice recognition has influenced is really the digital mic. It doesn't have any automatic gain control. It's omnidirectional, and it's very small at 4mm by 3mm, so it fits nicely in the scene of our product. And then we have our Wi-Fi SD card, which was our simple way of integrating wireless connectivity to our product. It's very inexpensive as opposed to an onboard chip. It has a substantial amount of memory in this one that we respect, and it is fast. As you can see here, we took a very high-level functional block diagram, looking at those various components that we have here, and kind of just looked at it from a data and power relationship kind of way. You can see that we have several input and output signals, both physical and data. So when we move from the internal to the exterior of the product, we looked more at the casing and the band. The casing itself we decided to have out of die-cast white bronze. White bronze, which is an alloy, also called miralloy. It's typically used for jewelry. It's inexpensive. It looks very much like silver, but will never tarnish. And it has a very high fracture toughness. The band itself, we decided to go for an injection molded polyisoprene, mainly because of the cost of that one, and it has a low CO2 footprint. So looking at the exterior and the interior, we were able to distill the different sub-assemblies from our product, and we were able to figure out that, yes, we can make it for a reasonable price. And Amy will touch later on in our presentation about the implications of that costing.
So now that we've figured out how to build our legacy keeper, we want to make sure we get it to customers efficiently and with the quality that they would expect and that we want to offer as YourStory. So, big diagram, lots going on, but essentially the message here is that all of our commodity parts are coming from China, and they are the best quality, the optimal quality that we need, but keeping the price down. Everything will be sub-assembled in China, including the printed circuit board. Then the final pieces will come to our Seattle distribution center / office, where we'll have an engraver sitting there a couple days a week. We'll have the QC person again, just to make sure that the customer is buying an experience. So when they get the package as a complete guide, so it has a start guide, a welcome booklet when they come in. Now, we've located ourselves on the West Coast because of the shipment coming from the East. We also have proximity to software developers and web developers for our device, And so these are the 4 key resources that we need. We have more detailed financials in a booklet. And so we want these people to be in a collaborative environment so they can really think about version 2.0 on the roadmap of our product as we go forward. We are going to outsource some of these functions you see on the right. We will need more development, obviously, in year 0. That's our planning year when we're ramping up our production so that we can sell in year 1. And then we'll have QC folks, and we are going to have legal counsel for IP matters. We did do a patent search, and there's lots of out there, so we just want to make sure we protect ourselves, and we have detailed backup on that if you're really interested in our IP. So in terms of, again, supporting the customer, we want our product to be so simple to use that Anne walks you through everything and all the documentation you need is there. However, we also want to provide support in case our customers need it. So this is essentially what we're thinking for now. We will build up the online, so we're thinking potentially if you have prompts and somebody else has some prompts, there could be sharing across those communities. So then to get to the numbers, these are the major cost drivers. So these are the major buckets that we're going to see in the first couple years. Again, starting in year 0, we're going to have ad development, software development. And these add up to about $2 million, and that's the investment we require to get us through to the end of year 2. And as our friends and family, we're asking for $1.5 million, but we're going to give you a nice return at the end of year 2. And we hope that's a conservative number too for you. So then what we want to bump up, as you'll see in the next slide, on year 4, we're going to ramp up with some television advertising because we really want to push the word of mouth to getting out to even more people, and then we want to boost our recurring revenue opportunities. So our promotional strategy, as Teresa discussed, is on the left, and we have kind of a cumulative strategy, so over time we're going to build that. So as you can see by year 2, obviously our numbers are very, very conservative at this point. We do have a steep climb towards the end. So in year 3, we're going to add in the Bloomingdale's event. Then by years 4 and 5, again, we start to kind of double our revenue, double our volume every year. And this is where we add in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And then finally, we're going to hit Lifetime Movie Network. So we'll have a portion down to the video on Lifetime Movie Network, and I think that'll reach the target that we want to reach. And again, we're still hoping for a fairly conservative 100,000 units by the end of year 5. So what does this look like in terms of revenue? Modest at first, but then because of the recurring revenue, because of the way the units are going to sell, we're going to offer different variations, and we're going to go global starting in about year 3. So our plan is going to take place for that, and that's how we're hoping to really scale up that volume. And then the really important numbers. We don't like the red ones, but the black ones are very promising in terms of the efficiency that we can get from our supply chain, from our distribution. We worked very hard at the assembly. We learned a lot about that over the past year in terms of every little part matters, and every time we touch the product and turn it over. So we really tried to scale that down to its bare essence. So, we invite you to tell your story.
I also want to give special thanks to our professors, our advisors, our friends and family, and classmates that have all supported us during this process. Thank you.
Any questions or comments for the YourStory team? Can you guys pass that around? Is it too?
Yes, can't you
Yeah.
do a little to that?
Too fragile.
It's not too fragile. It's just the humidity lately. The paint is still.
Oh, you're painting?
It's an auto finish.
Mhm.
Painting, so. Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
There you go.
everybody should hold it on the
Yes,
rag.
There you go. Just to go over.
Comments, questions, people?
Yeah.
Jason?
Are you guys planning on doing this for real, or the business things as part of the project as just sort of for fun? It's okay either way. It can be a project.
Blast, actually.
My advice is more for if you're planning on doing it for real, and I won't waste the time if you're not. So, are you doing it, or is it just for the thesis?
Well, I think they're kind of one and the same. I mean, we approach this as if it were a business, but obviously there's a lot more steps we'd have to take after this, but we'd love to hear it.
I guess the little bit of feedback that would be, $2 million raise without any proof of anything is going to be impossible. So if you did want to do it, you want to find some way to quickly and cheaply prove that people actually want this in a substantial way. But all in all, great stuff.
I think you guys have come a long way. I mean, obviously, some of the older people in this area, Peter, have seen this from the beginning. And I really give you a lot of praise and applause at how far you've come since, you know, a year or 6 months ago when it was, you know, like sticks and you didn't quite know where you were going. I really thought that. I thought you came to a concept that was really cohesive, and that's impressive. It's great to see the program moving more towards projects being cohesive, even if the business stuff is a little bit, you know. And that just takes work. That's obviously something that you're always working on. I thought that you know, things looked really good. My one comment is that you kind of talked about how you wanted to infuse this more emotional aspect of it, and I thought the video up front really did that. But if you could carry that through the whole presentation, just making sure you touch on why you spend so much time engineering it is to produce an experience that really touches people when they use it, right? That the reason that you set up the business model the way it is so that you can put this in as many people's hands as possible. But other than that, I thought it was great. Congratulations.
Could it, I mean, it's kind of related to Jason's question. I know we make you create an artifact, but if you didn't, I guess there's two versions of the question. One is, how much of the benefits could you get without the artifact? That is, could you deliver by an app or a website or both? And I mean, I understand there might be a hybrid strategy, but that would be one way to get started, right? And a way to do more of a freemium model, right? Because the 55,000 number or the 100,000 number is a really small number after year 5 for this kind of thing. So, you know, that might be great if you had if that were 5% of a much bigger number, 2 million people were using it, right? And then that smaller fraction that were buying the device.
I mean, through our research, like, that's something we strongly argued about, like, for quite some time, like, trying to figure out how to do that. And what we found through our consumer research that we did with our focus group, and people, the women that we were speaking with within that certain age group, like, I don't know, 50 plus, 65 plus, roughly, they were interested in having the physical thing, as opposed to having, like, we thought it could be an application, but the physical thing was actually really important. And eventually it could potentially phase itself out, or, you know, the app would become more prevalent. But for now, we found that the actual artifact was.
Definitely consider the other way, though, where the artifact is like the ultimate extension of the free app, just because you can, a minimally viable product could be the app. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. To make something is just inherently, as you guys projected, expensive. So,
yeah, we talked about getting people in with a freemium model, so they would come in, it'd be free, and then as they want to build on services, and as long as our technology can adapt to changing technologies over time, and that's another argument for bringing it more to the digital. But that's what I want.
What I was most impressed about over the last year was your ability to identify and deal with all of the various negotiations, compromises, that occurred in learning what you didn't know. And I think, as a team, I think you did a really great job of balancing all the various aspects that were supposed to go on. Sure, I mean, we can have arguments about whether you had enough sales in year 3 or whatever. But I think in terms of identifying and addressing for yourselves all of the things that a year and a half ago you didn't know you didn't know, I think you really did a stupendous job, and I'm truly impressed.
Yeah, I think, you know, just echoing Peter and Jeff on that as well, I think, you know, the presentation given today is really part exciting about the idea, part generating excitement about the idea, but I think it also really shows the depth of knowledge that you went through to kind of ask and answer some of the questions. You may not have all the answers to some of the feedback in the room. It might be challenging on some of the things, but I think, you know, the the amount of work and the depth of the work that you've done has been tremendous. So I think going forward, thinking about some of that a little bit further, I think, you know, you might come to some deeper conclusions, which I think would be great. It's good.
Yeah, I just want to echo that. I mean, so I did tear up a little at the video. That was the goal. It was nice. I mean, I think that what I'm really excited about, I think you guys have done amazing work over the past year, and I think you've learned a lot about both how to do the work and the skills that it requires, and also, you know, the softer part of like, how do you work together as a team? How do you get us involved? Who else do you need to get involved to get this stuff happen? All of which I think is another valuable skill set that you're acquiring through the program. And I think you ended up with a really beautiful object and a really well-designed experience that you kind of marshaled the tools from design and business and engineering to create this experience. And so I think that's really exciting. And I think you guys should be really proud of yourselves. So good job.
I think you've set a new bar for projects coming out of IPD.
Pay attention, rest of you.
Yes.